Have you ever truly committed 100 hours to something? You've started a new habit before: learning English, blogging, going to the gym, filming videos, running. At first, you were full of motivation. Everything felt exciting. But then, in the second week, you started to lose steam. You got busy. You got tired. You didn't see results as fast as you hoped. And you gave up. Inside your head, a familiar voice whispered, "I'm not talented enough. Maybe this just isn't for me. I'll come back to it later." You're not alone. Over 80% of people quit during the early phase, before results have a chance to appear. Not because they're not capable, but because they haven't persisted long enough to get through the progress delay gap. Chart with upward trend. Did you know? Studies on skill development show. Right pointing backhand index. The first 100 hours are a phase of silent transformation. You don't feel yourself getting better. You don't see visible progress. But your brain is rewiring. Your body is adjusting. Your rhythm is shifting. And if you make it past that 100-hour threshold, you're no longer a beginner. You've crossed into the zone of someone who's taking control. Bullseye. Today, we're going to talk about a powerful rule. The 100-hour commitment rule. No fluff. No promises of overnight success. Just a quiet commitment. I will give 100 hours to something I truly want to grow in. If you feel like it's time to get serious with yourself, this is your first step. Rock it. Before we begin, if this video resonates with you, right pointing backhand index. Like the video if you've ever quit something just because progress felt too slow. Right pointing backhand index. Subscribe to Everyday Momentum, where you'll find small principles with the power to change your life. Right pointing backhand index. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a breakthrough rule. Right pointing backhand index and comment below, "I commit 100 hours to _____________. A small act, but it could be the start of something transformational." Part 1. Why is 100 hours the breakthrough threshold? Let's be honest with yourself. Have you ever truly dedicated 100 hours to something you genuinely wanted to master? Not 3 days of trying hard and giving up. Not a few hours of testing the waters. But 100 committed hours, regardless of whether results showed up yet. Chart with downward trend. Why do most people quit too soon? Because progress doesn't show up immediately. You go to the gym for 3 days, no weight loss. You study English for a week, still can't speak fluently. You write 5 blog posts, no one reads them. And then you think, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But the problem isn't you. It's your misaligned expectations. We've been raised in a world that glorifies instant results, instant feedback. We forget a critical truth about every skill and every form of growth. The beginning always comes with a delay. No instant results. Only quiet accumulation. Chart with upward trend. The plateau of latent potential. Imagine you're planting a seed. For the first few weeks, nothing appears above ground. But that doesn't mean it isn't growing. It's building roots. Storing energy. Preparing to rise. Human progress is the same. Bar chart. Our learning curve often looks like a long flat line, with no noticeable change for the first 20, 40, even 70 hours. And only when you push past the 100-hour mark, you enter the zone of visible acceleration. Bullseye. Why 100 hours? What makes this number special? Psychologist K. Anders Ericsson, the pioneer behind deliberate practice, proved that accumulated time is the single most critical factor behind high achievement. Author Josh Kaufman, in the first 20 hours, said that just 20 hours of focused learning can make you better than 90% of people who never start. But if you want to push past your own limits, 100 hours is the first gateway to true mastery. In the military, in sports, in education, 100 hours is widely recognized as the minimum threshold to move from beginner to intermediate. And let's be clear. This is not 100 hours of watching TikToks about that skill. This is 100 hours of real practice, with presence, focus, and repetition. Speech balloon. Ask yourself honestly. Have you ever seriously invested 100 hours into something? If your answer is not yet, then maybe, just maybe, you've never really given yourself a fair chance to truly improve. Part 2. How to break down 100 hours to make it easier to commit and stay consistent. Hearing 100 hours might feel overwhelming to many people. 100 hours? I don't have that kind of free time. I've got work, family, school, so many responsibilities. But here's the truth. You don't need 100 hours all at once. You just need to break it into smaller parts and stay consistent with each one. Stopwatch # fragmented thinking. Turn 100 hours into small, winnable milestones. 100 hours equals 1 hour per day for 100 days. 30 minutes a day for just over 6 months. 20 minutes, 3 times a day for 10 weeks. By breaking it down like this, you reduce pressure on your willpower and turn every practice session into a natural part of your daily rhythm. Electric light bulb. According to the principle of atomic habits by James Clear, the easier a behavior is to access, the more likely it will stick. So don't wait for free time, build a small, repeatable habit. Attach your 100 hours to an existing routine. You don't need to create more time, just embed the 100 hours into routines you already have. Listen to an English podcast during your commute, 20 minutes per day. Write for 15 minutes every morning after your coffee. Practice communication skills for 10 minutes during your lunch break. Pushpin systems beat motivation. If you have a simple system, you don't need to feel inspired every day. Memo. Track your time to see progress and boost motivation. One reason people give up is that they don't see themselves improving. But if you log your hours and what you've done, you'll realize, hey, I've already done 30 hours. I'm way ahead of where I started. White heavy checkmark. Use simple tools like Google Sheets, Notion, a notebook, or a habit tracker app. Break your 100 hours into mini milestones, 10H, 25H, 50H, 75H, 100H. Each milestone is a win. Every win fuels new momentum. Explosion symbol. Turn your 100 hours into a reward-based game. The human brain loves short-term rewards. So gamify your 100-hour journey. Every 10 hours completed, reward yourself with something small. At 50 hours, host a personal halfway checkpoint. At 100 hours, write a reflection and share it. Pushpin. Make personal growth feel like a serious game, but one filled with energy and joy. That's how you stay fired up for the long run. Part 3. A real story and the transformation after 100 hours. Now, let's put the theory aside. Let's dive into a real story, because sometimes, the spark that reignites our motivation isn't data. It's the journey of someone just like you. Microphone # Daniel's story, the guy who used to stutter and was afraid to speak up. Daniel, 27, works as an IT specialist. Since childhood, he's had a mild stutter, making public speaking an ordeal. He used to avoid group meetings, avoid presentations. He even turned down a promotion simply because the new role required monthly reports in front of the board. One day, he decided to try something simple. I'll commit to 100 hours of fluent speaking practice. It doesn't matter how fast I improve. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just can't quit. Hourglass with flowing sand. Here's how his 100-hour journey looked. Days 1 to 10, spoke to himself in the mirror. 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Days 11 to 30, recorded his voice and listened back, identifying where he stumbled. Days 31 to 60, started calling friends every day, initiating conversations himself. Day 61 to 90, joined Toastmasters weekly and began speaking publicly in a safe space. Days 91 to 100, recorded a 3-minute video sharing his thoughts, and posted it online. Rocket. The magic didn't happen in the first 10 hours. Not at hour 20. Not even at hour 40. It happened around hour 76, when Daniel stood in front of 20 people and delivered an entire sentence, fluently, without a single stammer. And even more important than that, he wasn't afraid anymore. He was no longer the guy who stutters. He became the person who faced and moved beyond his own limits. Electric light bulb Daniel's story isn't just about stuttering. It symbolizes every fear you're carrying. The fear that you're not talented enough. The fear that you're not good enough. The fear that you'll start, but won't stay consistent. But if you commit to 100 hours, you'll surprise yourself. You'll no longer be just a beginner, you'll be on the path to mastery. Bullseye, you don't need a miracle. You just need a decision and a 100-hour milestone. Part 4, the final challenge and commitment. Turn 100 hours into a life-changing milestone. Pause for a moment. And ask yourself this. If you truly committed 100 focused, serious, consistent hours to something you've always wanted to improve, who would you become after those 100 hours? You'd become someone who no longer backs down just because the beginning feels hard. No longer feels guilty for giving up halfway. No longer lives in shame thinking I'm not as good as others. Speech Balloon 100 hours isn't just a number. It's a quiet declaration. I take myself seriously. I'm willing to do the hard things, even when no one's watching, so one day, I can become someone I once thought was impossible. You don't need to be good from the start. You don't need natural talent. You only need to consistently repeat the right actions, long enough. Science confirms this. The brain needs at least 60 to 100 hours of repeated exposure to move a skill from the learning zone to the subconscious zone. Confidence doesn't come from thinking positive. It comes from doing something enough times that fear fades away. With consistent, uninterrupted practice, the neurons involved grow stronger. You're rewiring yourself from the inside out. Trophy, so make this your honor challenge, 100 hours for yourself. No one needs to know. No need to announce it. Just you and you. Choose one behavior, one skill, one goal, something you've always craved but always postponed. Then, break it down into smaller time blocks. Track your progress. Don't skip more than 2 consecutive days. Never start from scratch again, because now, you're building an unshakable foundation. Seedling 100 hours won't make you a genius. But it will make you someone serious. And serious people accomplish what the casual ones never reach. That's grit. That's discipline. That's real change, quiet, but irreversible. Loudspeaker, if you're ready, drop a comment under this video. I commit 100 hours to ____________. Don't let it be just words. Make it an honor promise to yourself. Rocket, here's how to start today. Write down the skill or habit you want to build. Break 100 hours into small milestones, 10, 25, 50, 75, 100. Schedule your action plan for the first week. Begin your first hour right after this video ends. Bullseye, 100 hours from now, you'll look back and ask yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? Part 5, 100 hours won't change you. You are the one who changes yourself. You might have watched countless self-improvement videos, heard hundreds of motivational quotes, saved dozens of life hacks in your notes. But what has really changed you? Not an inspiring speech, not a viral video, but that moment when you made a real decision. A decision that said, I don't want another year to go by looking exactly like the last. I will become someone who acts, not just someone who dreams. The 100-hour commitment is your reminder. No one's coming to save you. No one can learn for you, train for you, or live your life for you. But also, no one can stop you once you truly begin. Remember this. No one is watching when you practice alone each day. No one applauds when you complete hour 37 or 58. No one sees you stay seated, continuing to work, even when you're tired, bored, or feeling invisible. It's just you. And in those quiet, unseen moments, you are rebuilding who you are. Fire, it's not the 100 hours that change you. It's you, or the one who shows up hour after hour, who creates your own transformation. So step into the journey, boldly. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to have more time. You begin, and readiness will follow. Bullseye, etch this into your mind. You don't need to feel special to start. But if you truly commit, you will become someone you yourself admire. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you've come this far, I believe you're not just a viewer. You're someone who's ready to change. And remember this: 100 hours is not a challenge to outperform others. It's a journey to rebuild your belief in yourself. Every hour, every action, every moment of persistence. They're all slowly shaping a version of you that's stronger, more resilient, and truly worth being proud of. Loudspeaker, if this video resonated with you, take a step to reinforce that commitment. White right pointing back hand index, like this video to remember how you feel right now. White right pointing back hand index, subscribe to Everyday Momentum, where each week you'll find a new rule to help you stay on track. White right pointing back hand index, turn on notifications so you won't miss the video that might come exactly when you need it most. White right pointing back hand index, comment below. I will commit 100 hours to ___________. A small promise that could create a big transformation. Bullseye. And finally, never forget: you don't change in 100 hours. You change because you show up, hour after hour.